something's been missing. We haven't had a 45-minute show, and oh yeah, the cheerleaders are back. The energy is back. Welcome back to our sidelines format. Let's get it going.
On Your Sidelines, sponsored by Rant Insurance Group.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week one of the high school football season, night 2 of 13 on Your Sidelines. I'm Jamal Spencer.
And I'm Mark Skoll Jr. We're going to get to the highlights in just a second, but first we have some very important guests to introduce.
Absolutely. For the first time in 4 years, cheerleaders are back in the studio, and doing the honors for us tonight are the cheerleaders from Jenison High School. And the cheerleaders from Fremont High School.
Kicking us off tonight, it's a game that we've been excited about since we first saw it on the schedule. Tonight, two of the most storied programs in Michigan high school football history squared off, Jamal.
Now, Rockford has put up 28 consecutive winning seasons. Muskegon had 23 straight. Tonight, Hackley Stadium played host to the first matchup in this series in 10 years. Rockford would start off red hot thanks to plays like this. Ryan Ahern bounces off the line. There he goes. 38-yard gain, dragged down inside the 20. Then a couple of plays later, it's Drake Irwin to take it in with the quarterback keeper. That's 7-0 Rams in the first quarter. And honestly, the onslaught would not stop there. Muskegon's following possession, Mackay Guy under duress, picked off by Garrett Tinbrink with still 6 minutes left in the first quarter. That's when Irwin does it again. This time, quarterback keeper up the middle. He's going 20 yards for 6. Couple of missed tackles there. Makes it 14-0 Rockford. Now, you know, we figured he already has 2 on the ground. Why not go to the air, get the passing game involved? 70 yards to pay dirt. This strike over the middle, that's Camden Cruisinger taking it home. Now, he had multiple nice throws on the day, including that one cruising into the end zone. He also had a touchdown pass like this one coming up to Seth Anderson, as Muskegon had no answer for Rockford's offense, no answer for Rockford up front on the offensive line. That led to a handoff to Ahern. He's going to get into the end zone to make it 27-0.
Wow.
Big Reds getting pummeled.
Oh my goodness.
Now, that was the score at the half. Eventually, Muskegon would find the end zone in the third quarter. Running back Jacob Price, man, he's been doing leg day. He gets into the end zone. That cuts it to 27-7. Ultimately, that's how this one ends up. After the game, we caught up with Rockford head coach Brent Cummings to give his thoughts on his team's week 1 performance.
I believe that our guys had a chance to come out here and be confident. The way they practice, the way they trust their coaches, they really did a great job. And we've been prepping like crazy for this week 1. I'm proud of the way the guys came out and executed. The energy they came out with early on, right in that first quarter, set a great tone. And then on both sides of the ball, I just thought they did a really, really good job of trusting each other and executing their assignments repeatedly, play after play after play.
Rockford putting a whole bunch of people on notice.
Can't believe that outcome. Crazy.
It's unbelievable. Now, it was supposed to be one of last night's most anticipated matchups, but the Heat pushed West Catholic versus Edwardsburg back one more day.
It was worth the wait for a battle between a returning state champion and a perennial powerhouse. We head down to the Indiana state line for this clash of the Titans. First half, Connor Olszewski takes the handoff, and look at Connor go. He is in for pay dirt. Falcons are soaring early. Later on, Alec Wiskram has time in the pocket, and he throws it up to Ryer Snow. Let it snow, let it snow. He's able to set West Catholic inside the 5-yard line, and that sets up this. Mike Murphy, the Northview transfer, squirts up the middle for the touchdown, and West Catholic is just dominating in Edwardsburg. The Eddies have no answer without their former Hall of Fame head coach, Kevin Bartz. Let's get to the second half now. Handoff goes to David Brittenfield, and you can't stop Brittenfield. You can just try to contain him. Look at this run right here. He keeps going. I don't know how many Eddies try to tackle him there, but they had no answer for him. West Catholic wins this one big over a state power, 56-12.
Another big-time message-sending victory in Week 1.
Huge, huge. Forest Hill Central enters this season coming off of a state finals appearance.
Absolutely. But to start the year off right, the Rangers have to travel to David McKenzie Stadium and compete with a raucous crowd, including our guest, the Jenison cheerleaders. Now, these two teams have played each other every year since 2012. It was scoreless early in the second on 4th and 11 from the 13. Forest Hill Central's Mason McDonald to JT Hartman for a first down. McDonald takes it in on the next play for an 8-0 Ranger lead. Jenison responded behind their quarterback, Eli Zeitman. Here he finds Charlie Norton for a big gain, down to the 5.
There we go.
And then Zeitman would finish the drive from 3 yards out. That cuts the lead to 8-6. We like that, though, right?
You guys like that? Yeah.
Now, later in the quarter, the Wildcats go deep into the playbook. Zeitman to Norton, flips it to Cam Pike with the hook and lateral, works to perfection. Pike takes it down inside the 10. That would set up a field goal and a 9-8 lead. Final minute of the half, FHC regains the lead. Donald to Brendan Cargill in the corner of the end zone. Made it 16-9 at half. They poured on in the second. 37-9, the final. Tough break for our guest from Jenison.
Next week will be better.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, Caledonia coming off a state finals appearance and their best season since 2005.
This afternoon, they started off their 2023 campaign with a trip to that big house in Ann Arbor where they played Romeo. It was Caledonia's first game ever against Kid Rock's old high school. Second quarter, Caledonia up 14-0. Ball on the 36, Brody Bester gets the snap, pump fakes it, then throws it to Maddox Greenfield for the touchdown. That makes it 21-0. The Scots are rolling, but no lead is ever safe in the big house. Everyone knows this. Third quarter, Romeo on the 20. Caden Burrows throws it up to DJ Phillips, who somehow comes up with it, making it 28-14. Fourth quarter, 28-all. Caledonia on their own 42. Bester throws it up to Maddox Greenfield again, and he's scoring a big touchdown in that big house. He takes it to the end zone. Caledonia wins 35-28.
Caledonia's last 2 games coming at Ford Field and Michigan Stadium. I know
bad.
they got the win in one. Good memories in both games.
For sure.
Well, South Christian had won 4 straight against their rivals from Grand Rapids Christian coming into this evening.
Nate Belt was there to see if they could make it 5. Nate?
Yeah, guys, well, always going to be a tough task for the Eagles going into this one against the defending state champs, but nonetheless, they were out there to try and sink the Sailors. First drive for South Christian. Carson Viss for the Sailors. He's going to find Jake Vermoss, corner of the end zone. Moss, great catch. Sick grab, it's 6-0. Eagles looking to tie it up right here, but this pass is not going to get it done. Right to Zay Cavanis, throws it straight to Austin Tiesma, and that they're going to take it inside the 30 there, and that is going to lead to the Viss-Vermoss connection once again. Grand Rapids Christian must have amnesia. They forgot Vermoss is him. Grand Rapids Christian trying to get back in this one. They're down 2 scores now, and that's another pick from Zay Cavanis. Vermoss, once again, this dude is having himself quite a game. Cavanis going to the bench trying to figure things out. Now the Eagles going to try and get back in this one here. Nice pick there. That's a great pick for the defense, get the Eagles back into this game, but they couldn't score. And Viss is going to find his receiver in the end zone. Another fantastic catch. South Christian wins a shootout, 66-42. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, East Grand Rapids didn't have power today, so they're playing at Rockford. Their first game there. That is a fourth down stop by Cedar Springs. Not a lot of offense in this one, so any point counts. Neither of these teams run the ball very often. They don't pass the ball very often, that is. Maybe they should think about it, because that's a nice dime from the quarterback there from East Grand Rapids to get into the end zone. EGR fans are loving it. They're fired up all the way up there in Rockford. Sack there from Nate Slager from Cedar Springs. He gets into the backfield and stops him. And now we got McMillan again, quarterback from EGR, going to drop one in the bucket to Tommy Kavanaugh. Tough contested catch there. And that's going to be the final score, guys. Not a lot of points in that one. 14-0. I'd say that's about the opposite of the first game I went to.
I was going to say the complete opposite. Tons of defense in the second game, tons of offense in that first game. 2 different types of games. But like I said, I want to give you props going from anchoring the 11 o'clock newscast, jumping right in here in sidelines, getting ready to go kudos to you on a job well done tonight, Nate. Absolutely.
Shout out to Rockford, too, for letting EGR play at their field, Carson Munger Stadium, because the power at Memorial Stadium went out last night.
Yeah, and we were talking about last night, things were all screwy, games getting canceled, postponed because of the weather. A lot was bound to happen, but you're right, that's very big for EGR to be able to play that game at Rockford. It's really cool.
South Christian able to get it done without Jake DeHaan, who is now at Toledo. They're pretty good still. The Sailors, man, I'm looking out for them.
Sailors reload. Now, it's a new era in Nuevo with a legendary coach at the helm.
Coming up, find out if the Lions could restore the roar in their first game under Ralph Munger as they took on their rivals from Kent City.
And speaking of rivals, things got chippy between Reeves Puffer and Grand Haven. Find out who won a lakeshore battle between the Rockets and the Bucks coming up next.